All right. Well, I'm Louisa Sims, and this beautiful lady is Miss Denise. Let's see if I can get my hand up there. Woo-hoo. Denise Pantaleon, she's with GRA, and I'm very happy to have her here today. So, in this industry, there are so many misconceptions out there. People reach conclusions without asking the experts. And so, I wanted to go through some of the most common questions that we get on both sides. On my side as a real estate agent and on her side as a lender. So I'm just gonna go right into it. Okay, so the next question I have is I run into this a lot where somebody will say, well, I'm waiting to pay off this car, or, I have these 4 credit cards, or I really need to be debt free. And that's not something that people really need to do. Now, obviously, if you need to do it, your lender is going to tell you. So don't wait just, because you think something might be required. You want to wait until you know it's required. So Denise, what do you run into the most when it comes to debt?
I agree. And I love the fact that people want to be debt free going into this transaction, but it's not necessary. Moderate debt is fine. As long as this debt is not precluding you from purchasing the house because your payments are so high and it's cutting into your debt ratios and you don't qualify anymore. I always tell people, keep the money in your pocket. I'll let you know when I look at your credit report what should be paid down or paid off to qualify, or what's going to put us in a better position. But keep your money in your pocket. Even if something had to be paid off to qualify, I always tell people, let's just do it at closing. Let's not rock the boat by closing a credit line, which could drop your score. So my short answer to that is just proceed with caution with those things and talk to the loan originator first before you make any moves on it, because moderate debt is just fine. People are expected to have moderate debt, and we need it to build credit. Credit loves credit.
Absolutely. Credit does love credit. And another thing I just kind of wanted to point out too is a lot of times people they'll go, I know my credit's bad. I know it's bad. I know I can't get a loan. And I will ask them, I'll say, well, why don't you tell me a little bit about what's bad on your credit? And oftentimes they have no idea. They just decided it was bad. And not all the time. I can't promise every person that tells me it's bad that I can help them connect to a lender that can give them a loan. But I can tell you it happens a lot. It happens all the time where people are like, well, I have this one thing, or I have this outstanding thing, or they didn't understand how their student loans were calculated, or they didn't understand, how medical debt, all works with that. And so I run into that, just constantly. And I say, it costs you nothing to fill out an application. It's free. Why would you not? And then worst case scenario, the lender says, this is what we need to do. And if you reach out to them and you ask, they will give you concrete steps to get to the place where you can buy. One of the hardest things that I see is when people decide on their own what will fix their credit. And a lot of times what they decide on their own actually makes it worse. So I just want to emphasize that a lot. Definitely, talk to the lender and fill out that application. It is worth it.
That's the most heartbreaking story, because people will come to me and I'll say, well, let's just take a soft pull on your credit. It's not a hard inquiry, so it's not going to rock your credit. And I look and it's just something from long ago. And I said, it's not even hurting you anymore. What is hurting you is you got off the horse and never got back on it. You did something wrong on your credit, and then you never went back for another bite of the apple and said, let me try to get another credit card and show them that I'm better, because that's what credit's looking for. It's looking for you to go in and repair and do better. It's forgiving as long as you get that time and space on certain things. Or sometimes just your debts are too high. The balances as they relate to your limits are too high. And I love that scenario because it's just a little money to fix it. So always just call up. Let's take a look at your credit, and we'll get you on the right course. And the credit repair companies, call me before you do that as well, because that's a whole nother story. That puts things on dispute, and then they start settling, and that could be a long-term fix if you actually go with one of them. I'll let you know if credit repair is necessary.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Actually has happened to people before that have come to me that started on credit repair before talking to a lender, and they actually made the situation work. But honestly, there's some great credit repair companies out there too that really work well hand in hand with lenders. And so The important part is if you are advised to talk to a credit counselor or a credit repair person, that you follow through on their direction exactly as they direct it. Don't assume it's fine to do it slightly different. There's probably a reason why they want it done exactly that way.